What happens when you give a complete newbie the most powerful system to making money online? Hi, this is Chris. I'm going to address this question in this 7-figure commissions review, and we'll also tell you about some free bonuses available if you decide to purchase a program. Click the link below this video to learn how to get those free 7-figure commissions bonuses now. Back to the question at hand. Do you need more money? This is a question that most are faced with at some point in their life. Maybe you're in a dead-end job that you cannot stand and need to be liberated from, or maybe you just need some extra money because you have a kid on the way. While money by no means brings happiness, it can make things go further day to day. Now, you probably have heard of internet marketing, or have at least even tried it as a way to help create a better life for yourself. The great thing about internet marketing is anyone can do it without a lot of investment. You don't have to invest in any inventory. You don't have to buy a shop. You don't have to pay rent on it. However, if you've tried it, you might have become very frustrated because you don't understand where to start and what you've tried has not worked in the past. Well, this is where 7-figure commissions comes in. This is a new internet marketing course. It's going to be launched on August 25th by successful internet marketer Richard Newton. Now, 3 years ago, he was exactly where you might be. He was not a successful entrepreneur, and he struggled to make his internet business work. However, he discovered the secret to making money online, and now he wants to share that secret with others. And most importantly, he wants to make sure it can be done by anyone. So back to the original question, what happens when you give a complete newbie the most powerful system to make money online? Well, that's what Mr. Newton decided to do. See, he gave the 7-figure commission system that's going to be launched soon to a guy named Jonathan Murphy for free, and he just gave him the system and let him try it out for 30 days. And basically, in summary, what happened, the guy went from a complete newbie to making just over 6,000 pounds, or it's around 9,000 US dollars by following that system. Now, if you want to learn more about the system, including updates and additional information on the product once it's launched, click the link below to go to my website. To help people succeed with the program, I'm including several bonuses for those who buy it through my site. I'll have more information on it as more information is available in the program. Again, click the button below to learn more about this opportunity and check out my bonuses. Still here? I guess you're one of those curious people like myself who stays around to the end of movies for extra information. For those who stayed around, I will speak a little bit more on what it takes to make money online. I myself have done quite well with affiliate marketing over the last year, making more in a month than most people make in a year. However, it wasn't easy at first. So I'm going to talk about, if you do get 7-figure commissions, you get in this area. The blueprint is very important. But however, it's also important to understand why most people fail, because even if most people are given the exact blueprint on how to do everything, 9 out of 10 people will screw it up, and it's no fault of their own. It's just they don't understand the sort of the psychology of success, and that's one of the things. If you do buy the 7-figure commissions program, if you do decide to get involved in internet marketing, I think it's important for you to know these things, and so that's some of the things I'm going to discuss here. Now, first and most important thing you need to do is avoid information overload. If you get 7-figure commissions, what you need to do is digest the material and concentrate and make a commitment to yourself that this is what I'm going to be working on for the next month, 2, 3 months, or however long it takes to work through the program. Because the reality is there's a lot of information on the internet. As you get involved in the program, you're going to learn concepts you didn't know before. You might go and look at some of those concepts will lead to other concepts, and those concepts will lead to other concepts, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this idea is cool, this idea is cool, this idea is cool. You might get people, marketing in your inbox constantly. I mean, I run an email list. Other people run email lists. So, we put out offers regularly because there's so much information. Now, a lot of that's to help people. But it's very important that you don't buy anything unless it really fits in with what you're doing now. If it takes you off your target, but it's coming from my list, Nathan's list, or anyone says you do not want to buy it. You want to only stick to those things. You want to have a strategy. You want to stick to it, and you know, you're going to be confronted by offers that say this is a one-time offer and it's going to go from $97 to $297 and something like that. And that does happen, you know. But the reality is those offers come around all the time. There's all sorts of ways of making money online. There'll be more great offers tomorrow. There'll be more offers a year from now. And those offers that are great today might be obsolete next week. What you have to do is concentrate and get that focus on the methodology you're working in right now and master it. And then you can look at some of this other stuff. But until you get the mastery of what you're doing, and again, this is something that I've struggled with. In fact, I was reading a guy named Rich Sheffrin. He's one of the best-known internet marketing coaches. He had done several successful businesses before getting into internet marketing. He failed at first too, and he just said this is one of the things that got him as well. So this happens to nearly everyone. So you have to get your focus. You have to say, this is what I'm going to focus on, and you got to stick to it. Next, you need to get rid of the idea of perfectionism. You need to take imperfect action. What this means is, say I have a feeling this course, like I said, Figure Commissions hasn't been released to the public yet, but based on the author's history, I'm guessing this is going to be some sort of search engine marketing traffic course. I'm not entirely sure on that, but let's say it is. You might get involved and you learn about it, and you might I want to know more about this. Or am I getting this right? Or, you know, all these things. Or I have these other questions. You know, you'll be doing so little. You're going to be trying to get everything perfect, and the next thing you know, a month, 2 months are going to be down, and you haven't done anything to make any money because you haven't put the things in action. If you do things wrong, you can always do them again. What you have to do, most importantly, you have to take action and do and do and do over and over again until you get it right. You have to learn through doing. And you do not want to expect success immediately. Yes, the guy in the seven-figure commissions, the guy who Nathan gave the program, did, and maybe that's possible with this. But that doesn't happen to everyone. You know, I've made most of I've done well in SEO and affiliate marketing, but I've done best in Facebook marketing. I can tell you my first couple months of Facebook marketing had a lot of unsuccessful campaigns. And one of the reasons why is I was following a lot of what people were telling me to do, or were, you know, if you read stuff on the internet, this is how you do this, you have this type of banner and stuff like that. And when I started doing some experimentation, what I found is just about everything I'd learned online was wrong. And I only would have known that if I've been testing one thing after another thing. And then when you hit it right, you get the right formula, you can duplicate it. That's when you go, you explode your success. And you scale it up, and you go from spending maybe $50 a day in advertising to $1,000 a day, and you're just making more and more money. So, you know that. But what you have to expect, you're not going to have success immediately. You have to learn through doing, practice, tweak everything. When it happens, it's very good, and that's when things explode. So you have to have patience. You can't get successful at doing something. You don't really want to expect success continually. You know, most of what I've sold is T-shirts. You know, you spend, you know, $2 to $3 to get a $10 sale, and you just rinse and repeat. But you know, not every T-shirt I put up works. A lot don't. It doesn't matter, because if you sell the campaigns that that win, you just rack up the spending on them. The campaigns you don't. If even the successful people might only have 3 out of 10 efforts lead to some sort of success, but those 3 out of 10 you're short on those things that don't work, and you're basically reinvesting everything into those efforts that work, you're going to make a lot of money off it. It only takes those 2 or 3 for you to be very successful. So you know, but if you try things once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, you know, and things aren't successful, and you get discouraged, you say, I'm going to give up. It ain't going to work. You've got to stay focused. You got to be persistent. And realize there are people who make money all the time. There's nothing that they're doing that you can't do as well. The difference between them and you is 1, knowledge, but 2, persistence, because that's how they got that knowledge. It's persistent. It's a mindset. So you have to get your mindset. If you do nothing else, it doesn't matter whether it's the 7-figure commissions or any other program you're looking at. You have to be tenacious in what you're doing. You have to have a proper mindset to get things going. Next, if you're running a business, you got to set goals. This can't be just some hobby where you sort of do things and yeah, well, this sort of works, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. You need to say exactly where you're going. Where do I want to be 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? I would start 5 years from now. What is your ideal life? And look at the business models that you would find appealing and go backwards and say, well, this is how many, in 5 years, this is how many products I need to sell. This is how many people I need in my email listing, whatever model you're going to be doing. And then say, well, a year from now, how many, think about it going backwards. How did you get there? Think about how did you get there? And put some numbers down on a piece of paper. What you'll find is you'll have numerical goals. And with each of those numerical goals, you formulate an actions of how you get from X to Y. And you go backwards. So what actions do I need to take? I need to put up 10 videos this week. I need to put up 10 websites. How many websites do I need to put up a month? How many campaigns do I need to start on Facebook? Depending on whatever you're doing. But you do those actions, and you keep doing those actions. You focus on those goals. And by doing this, you can formulate a plan and hold yourself accountable to this. And holding yourself accountable, if you're running your own business, is very tough. If you're in a job, a job, you're there 9 to 5 or whatever. I used to work at a big investment bank. It used to be a lot longer hours than that. But you do it because if you don't, you're going to get fired. If you're doing this yourself, or you're doing it part-time after your work, you're exhausted after work, you can't get motivated, you're not going to fire yourself, are you? Yeah, well, actually, you probably should if you don't get things done. But no, you've got to hold yourself accountable. It's one of the things, the best things I could advise you, if you can find a business partner with a complementary skill set, you don't want to be someone just like you. One of the best things I did this last year is when I was doing my Facebook marketing, I was partnering up with a friend of mine who's a marketing guy. So I'm into technical stuff, the analytics and stuff like that, running a portfolio of PPC things. He's more into the marketing guy, and we held ourselves accountable. We made a lot of money very quickly. And if you can find a partner, that's great. If you can find a coach also who's done it before, that's another way. That's a very expensive route to go, but a lot of the people who have been successful have had coaching. Not everyone who afford that, but if you can, it's a great idea. But if you do go out yourself, you need to hold yourself accountable. You've got to get things done. You got to get things done. You got to get things done. That's why setting goals is so important if you're doing this by yourself. Next, in order to meet those big goals, and when you think about your plan, you need to think about having a long-term product funnel. One of the reasons I'm moving away from what I have been doing, even though it's getting great returns on it, is it was a lot. It was a great return, but it's a lot of work, and it required consistent work. And what I like is I like being able to do something that's scalable, where I can put less time into it, and the results can grow. It's called a concept called leverage in finance. So you hire people to help you out. You increase the value of your conversions, and what that means is when you're marketing online, what you have traffic. That's how you get people to your website or your page or your video like this. That's called traffic, and it's going to cost you money to get traffic, money or time. There's always that cost. You either trade off time for money. Okay, so you can spend a lot of time putting up videos like this. You can spend money on Facebook doing PPC. When you're doing that, it's gonna cost you something in terms of, and put a value on your time. Your time is worth something. There's a monetary value when you combine that up. So say it costs you 50 cents a visitor, which is not unreasonable for a lot of different methods. Say 50 cents a visitor to your website. Then you have an offer, and you have to convert that visitor to a product. The cheaper the product, the more likely your conversion. The more expensive problem, the less likelihood, but you're going to have a value per customer. If you're just selling one thing, see, it's a t-shirt, that's maybe you make $10 a sale net of your advertising and everything. Whereas you sell an information product, it might be 30, 40, 50, 90 bucks per sale, and maybe your value per visitor is a couple bucks per visitor or something like that, depending on what you're doing. But your visit, if you have more products to sell them, say they sell one product, then you can sell them another product on top of an upsell, a higher price product, a recurring income, a membership site. You can increase the value per product. Even better, You sign up for an email list, and you promote to the same people who have a similar interest, target interest, over and over again. And the value you have for a particular prospect goes up a lot. Maybe it's $30. Your traffic, for every 50 cents you send to a traffic, maybe it's $6. Value life customer. When it is, then you can scale up. Instead of spending 50 cents on traffic, you can go to some other methods of advertising, maybe $2, $3, and just scale things incredibly. So the higher value you have on conversion, the more traffic you can send to it, because the more you have to spend on traffic, and that's how you get really rich in this game. So you have to think long term about doing product funnels. That's what I'm working on now. That's what creating my first product that I want to basically send out to affiliates, and that's what you want to do long term. Finally, some tips as a guy who lives in a third world country. I know this question probably comes up because I live in a country where the minimum wage is just under $400 an hour, and it's a great place to live. It's very laid back. I like it as far as quality of life. The downside is, if you want to actually live in a country like this and work in a country like this, the salaries are pretty low. And a lot of people who have, born and raised in that sort of environment might not understand the opportunities that are out there. With the internet, the entire world is your marketplace. You can work anywhere in the world and make a lot of money. Same goes true for finance. What I used to do. Before I just don't want to be in the markets anymore. Advice to anyone who holds wealth in dollars, euros, or yen. That's another thing. Get it out and into gold or silver. Just as a side point there. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to generate as much online as possible and turn it as much into hard assets as possible. Because the world as we know is probably going to, as far as financially, it's not going to exist anymore, because the dollar as the world's reserve currency is going to implode. And that's just an aside, but something people should be thinking about. This is the world I used to live in, and there's a reason I'm not in it anymore, because I don't want to be a fiduciary of a fund in a time where you're gonna have defaults on the other party. And it's off topic. Anyway, if you're in a third world country, you have the ability to earn anywhere in the world, but you have some particular problems. Like my country, I can't receive PayPal into my bank account down here. So I have to have a PayPal account in another country, okay? And get the money out through. Say maybe a lot of affiliate programs only pay to PayPal, or they maybe do from a direct transfer to only certain countries. I would look into this card called Payoneer. It works very well. It has what's called a U.S. payment gateway. So you have a PayPal account in the United States, or if you have a any of these affiliate programs, a lot of times have direct deposits to a U.S. banking. Most things are based in the U.S. You can actually have things deposited into that U.S. bank account, and then you can take that card and withdraw it all around the world. And I've traveled all over, with this card, and you can draw it to local currency. I mean, the fees are a little bit high on it. If you're making a lot of money online, it doesn't matter. Now, longer term, what you want to do is get a corporation in a banking jurisdiction that's much better. Hong Kong, Singapore, Seychelles, whatever. I mean, actually, Hong Kong and Singapore are the two preferred, because you can get great merchants accounts and stuff. There's some issues with those, and as far as you want to use very good. They're harder and harder to get these days because there's certain countries that are blacklisted and stuff like that. So you want to use a professional who's got good banking relationships. But I've got several offshore corporations, and I'm actually in the process of trying to get some better offshore banking options, and that's where you find it is more difficult, but it can be done. It just takes what you have to do is you have to build out your infrastructure. I mean, your income, you get to a certain level of success, you can reinvest that into infrastructure that allow you to have a much more efficient organization. Anyway, those are some of the tips on having an online business. And if you have any questions, feel free to send a request form to my website. You can, if you want to learn more about 7-figure commissions, click on the link below. I probably will be, I plan on be putting updates as we learn more about it into the August 25th launch. I'll be putting up some bonuses there, which I'm going to probably be crafting based on the exact type of offer it is, just so it helps out those who buy it the most. Like I said, you buy someone else's link, you might not get anything. You might get other bonuses. But if you buy through my links, you send me the receipt, because I have no way of knowing you bought it from me unless you send me the receipt. That's because I find people buy through my link all the time and then never even claim a bonus. And I sort of wonder, well, did they not read the instructions to send me the email link, or they not know about it or whatever? But if you buy through my link, be sure send me a email with your purchase details, and I'll get the bonuses to you. And anyway, click the link below. Thanks. Bye.